Dominic Galindo, helicopter pilot. He can fly the hell out of a helicopter. Can't figure out Facebook. What's going on, guys? It is Throw It Out There Thursday with a little bit of Tech Thursday. We have been gone, and the only reason we have been absent is none other than John Crowley. He is the reason we haven't been on. He's been making us stop and not do it, so thanks, John. But, hey, we're back, and we're ready to rip with you guys. Please ask a bunch of questions. Anything, we're going to answer it. But we have to go over to
Don't
the
do
one,
it. Don't do it.
the only,
No.
Justin Smith.
Steve, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And you know what, you guys? We apologize. We've been gone way too long. I think we probably should have been talking with you at least a couple months ago. But to be honest, it's not John's fault. I'd like to blame John, and I'd like Steve to blame John. But it's our fault. We've been way too busy. We've got a bunch of new stuff going on. Someone thought it was a good idea to start 2 or 3 new companies. I don't know who that person is. But it was a really bad idea because it's taken up all of our time. So, and you know what? You guys can ask a little bit about that if you want to as well. So we have some new parts. We have stuff coming out we can talk about throughout the show. But mainly we want to talk to you guys. We want you to ask the questions because nothing's off limit. You want to know why the sky's blue? We'll try and answer that. If we actually know, maybe we don't. But ask away. Also, to kind of tease you into asking more questions, the top 10 questions on today's feed, judged by us, not by you, get free shirts. And we will screenshot your name, and we will contact you after and get your shirt sizes and colors, and we'll send them off to you. Steve?
Yeah.
You're in charge of that one.
I will make sure I do that, but they better be juicy.
Good questions.
Yes.
Or best joke.
Or best joke. Yeah,
we'll
give me a
take
good
those
joke.
too. But so, let's just start it off. You guys got any questions to begin with? If you do, great. If you don't,
Everyone's
Mitch?
very curious about Steve's socks.
Oh.
I want to see Steve's
What are you doing?
socks.
What are you doing there, Steve? It's a question.
I've
technically.
never changed the socks, guys. I mean, I'm wearing the crew today, but I got to rep the company. But I got socks on always. Never question me on that. All right.
And I think
That's a bad
Steve
question.
wears them to bed. At least that's what I've heard.
I only wear socks to bed, and it might be one.
I like that one too. All right. Any other questions before I get into some of the parts? Because we're pretty much just using these parts as a way to kill time. We're going to talk about those while you guys come up with other stuff that we can hopefully answer for you. If it's hopefully what we do. How about shock questions, car questions, brand new stuff? There's new stuff that just came out, right? Can-Am dropped a few things, not all that new. Polaris at the dealer show dropped the new body style on the Pro R, new interior, new plastics, couple things here and there. We've already been inside the 25s quite a bit, and there are some things that change, especially in the steering rack area, tie rod area. So we're modifying some of our parts to work for the 25. So we'll have a lot of stuff for you guys right away. We already have spring kits, we already have the shock packages for it, and the rest of the parts are shortly to follow. So 25 is on that. Yes?
Nothing. No, I'm just laughing. There's a lot of people that are tuning in, and they're saying some good stuff. Somebody said
Send
it
it.
might be a small sock. It's not about the size of the sock.
It's a baby sock?
Yeah, it's whatever.
Infant socks. I like it. Anyway, yeah, what do you got there, Mitch?
Good question for a shock. How come all the Mavar race cars are breaking rear shock shafts?
I'll tell you, there's probably 2 or 3 main reasons. One, the shaft is hollow because that's where the wires go for the internal valve or the shaft valve on the inside of it. So it's a little bit weaker because there's a hole down the center of it. The other one is that a lot of the race guys aren't running a limit strap, and so it's extending, all the weight is pulling on that shaft and can break it off. Just like any other car eventually breaks the shaft off, usually on the piston side, the Mavars will break them off at the lower because of the wires. There's obviously other reasons. If you got aftermarket arms, maybe there's a little bit of a bind through travel. We've seen that also. It's not necessarily everybody's reason for it breaking, though. Steve?
Cody Piscatelli said, currently fighting an X3 front axle, removing it from the diff. Aside from hitting it with my purse, any advice?
Ooh, how big is the purse?
Slide hammer?
I mean, if it was a Chanel, it would definitely pop the CV right off. But I think the best way to get that off, if it's not easy, as you have said, is a crow's foot, which is basically like a long punch with a hook on the end of it. You can get that behind the CV. Actually, we've got one. How about right here? Bring that camera over here. You may not be able to zoom in there on the CV, can you? But here's an X3 CB. There's a gap. Can you see my finger on anything you're doing? Yeah. A little bit? All right, so there's a gap between the diff and the actual CB cup that you can get a crow's foot in and wedge that sucker off there. I've seen guys take really big punches, like a sharp edge punch, maybe even sharpen them to where they're not really skinny like that, where they're a little bit fat. And you can get it between the diff and the CB and use that punch to smack it apart. That'd be what I would do. Other than that, you can try and pull on the slide hammer the whole axle out. More than likely, it'll just pull the clip off the inside cup. So I would try and wedge them off the diff if you can. Steve?
Nope, got nothing, Justin.
That's it. Mitch, you got another one.
John Crowley asked, can I bring my Raptor to Glamis for shock upgrade and rebuild?
Ooh, good question.
That's a great question. Haven't really thought about that quite
So
yet.
John, you might get a shirt for that because that's pretty
Yeah.
good. Mitch, why don't you decide that right this second?
I would say no, just because of
It's a lot
fitment
of
reasons under the
space.
tent for one, and space reasons, yes. But like shocks, if you want to bring the shocks off the truck to us, we can definitely do it down there, but doing the whole vehicle would be a little tricky. I'm going to say no.
Okay, so we'll do them if it's the shocks.
Yep.
We won't do them if it's on the truck.
Yeah.
Good?
Yep.
All right, easy. Anybody else? Otherwise, yeah, Don, what do you got? Don't be shy.
It's just a thank you. George, I can't pronounce the last name. Sorry, George.
Pronounce it.
Good luck.
It's pronounced good luck with a G.
No, it's, anyways, I'm sorry. We're going to Richard Peterson. I'd like to thank your staff for all the work you did on my 21 XP4. I didn't even know I had 2 blown shocks, so thanks, Shock Therapy.
Awesome. Glad it rides better, I'm sure. I sure hope it rides better after having 2 blown shocks, after we touch it, right? All right, parts. You guys just raise your hand if somebody has a good question, okay? But what we have on the bench is some new stuff that's coming out. And again, I'm just using this as a time filler, so if you guys have questions, then shoot. But what you're looking at here in the middle is a new tie rod and rack upgrade kit for the new Maverick R. If you guys haven't had a chance to look inside one of these racks, if I was to put this back together real quick. All right, imagine that this is put together and that's bolted in. That's a complete rack and pinion for a Maverick R. It's easy to pull out. There's only a couple bolts that hold the whole thing into the chassis, and it's easy to work on if you wanted to do it yourself. But what we're finding with a lot of the racers having issues is here's a factory. We don't really know what this is called because the parts microfiche doesn't have a breakout for this component with BRP. It just shows the whole rack, so it doesn't have a description of what this is. We're kind of calling it the bearing log, right? Because this piece has all the bearings on it once you install all that. So this bearing log on the inside of the rack, normally, come on over this way. Here's your center link with tie rods on it, and this is the piece that you actually see on the outside of the rack. This is bolted directly through this hole, and this bearing log is on the inside. If you look at this, it's a smooth surface. There's nothing that keeps these two pieces from moving around. If you hit a rock, have this center link bang sideways this way, it can easily move. And what happens, all the racers are finding with running the cars pretty hard and a big wheel and tire, is that the hardware will loosen because these two pieces have some movement between the two of them. Once it moves enough, once the hardware loosens up enough, these two pieces will have a gap, and eventually they'll either break the hardware off or the hardware will come all the way out. And you're stuck, race is over. So what we did is developed a new piece for the inside. So the factory bearing log, we redesigned that, got rid of the flat surface, and take a look at this. If you want to zoom in on that, we're calling that a traction tooth design. There's a lot of teeth on here, kind of like a big giant file. And those teeth and this dowel pin keep the center link, our new standoff center link, from moving. So with that traction tooth design, there's no way these two parts, there's not even a bolt in it. All there is right now is just the center pin and the teeth. You can't have any movement, and if you don't have any movement, then you don't have the hardware loosen up, and you don't break it, and don't have bad races or short weekends. So this internal design with the standoff and our center link completes the whole package and turns this whole factory rack into an indestructible component. Any questions on that, you guys?
Not on
I'm looking
that.
the wrong direction, so I can't see if you're actually raising your hand or not. But
I don't have any questions on the rack yet.
okay, gotcha. Interrupt if you want to on other stuff. We can come back to all the other stuff. What do you got?
What's our thoughts on the new CF Moto? And are we planning on getting the new one with Foxes to test?
Good
tune,
question, actually. Let's,
and design
Mitch,
parts?
why don't you answer that?
Short answer is absolutely. We are currently waiting for dealers to get the new CF Motos in their store so we can borrow one and use it. Do some spring kits, do some valving, limit straps if we can, tie rods, links, basically down the list of parts that we make. We did have the, I forget the exact model of it, but the previous CF Moto in here already designed springs. We already designed sway bar links and tie rods and some tow rods for that car as well. So those are being kind of pushed through right now in development, and be on the lookout for those. But that's all going to translate to the new one and be able to valve and tune the shock as well.
So brand new one, you're going to have spring kits right away.
Yep.
Even though the factory ones are metric.
Yep.
We've already worked on the adapter system to convert over all the standard stuff, so we've got springs in stock. And we'll also have all the shock internals done pretty quick since we get a unit in. But definitely go in that direction. What other stuff have we actually been working on too? We've got more coming for the Expedition. We have a ton of stuff for the 1500. On the 1500, we've got complete shocks, right, Mitch?
Yep. Long travel and standard.
Long travel and standard Fox shock packages for the 1500. So if you guys have those, give us a call. On the Expedition, we have a ton of components coming in for that that we've been working on. We also have an electronic sway bar system for those that we are in the middle of wrapping up. So you could go rock crawling with it, turn the sway bars on and off. Really bitching. Mitch?
I'm going to piggyback off your sway bar comment
Yeah,
there.
let's do.
Another one from John said, I saw some really interesting electronic sway bars at Vegas to Reno on the Polaris factory cars. Can you comment on them?
Yeah. So the it's called eSway. It's a Fox component. We've been working with the development of that for 2.5 years. The kits are actually done. We're just waiting on the wire looms for those to go public. So we have like 25 kits in stock right now, right, Mitch? And they're for the Pro R currently. We're working on them for the X3 and the Expedition and Rangers and all that kind of stuff too.
Mav R too.
And Mav R.
Yep.
So those kits are coming. But eSway, it basically is an electronically controlled shock absorber sway bar link. So instead of a solid link, there's a little mini shock there. And that is controlled just like a Dynamics or Smart Shock system by the computer or by yourself, making it softer, making it stiffer, having it work in different terrains. So that kit that you saw on the Polaris race team is a semi-live system. So not just turning it on and turning it off for rock crawling, which is what they were using it for at King of the Hammers. There is even a smart version of that like Dynamics where you can put it in different modes. And it'll have more sway bar in the turns and less sway bar in the straights. And that smart sway bar system, or eSway, it is badass. We have driven a bunch of it, lots of miles in Barstow and Plaster City. It is a game changer when it comes to ride quality. It is so much nicer. So than normal, so much nicer than a normal suspension setup. And the different terrains you could go in and turn it on and off, awesome. So, Mitch?
Another good question. 21 Turbo S live valve. What setting, comfort, sport, or firm, do I set it in to adjust the ride height? You are going to set it in comfort. You want the adjuster all the way open so that the vehicle will basically level out on its own. If you have it in any other setting, it will actually raise the ride height. You'll get an inaccurate measurement.
Why does it raise the ride height, Mitch?
It's closing off the adjuster, so it's not allowing basically fluid and nitrogen to pass through.
No oil flow.
Yeah.
So if once you jack the car up and the shock extends, the oil can't go back through the adjuster, so it stays all the way extended.
Yep.
Right. Excellent answer, Mitch.
Thank you.
Dom, what do you got?
Steve Miggs, speaking of steering racks, I have seen the comment line that you no longer sell rebuild kits for the X3s and require the racks to be sent in for rebuilds. True or not true?
False.
Oh, you take it.
False.
Take it, Steve. You go for it.
Take it to the house.
Lies! No, that is not true. We do sell rebuild kits. They might have been out of stock, which might be why you didn't see them online. They should be back in stock. The only reason you would have to send your rack in is if there's a serious issue, and then we would take care of it from there. But we do sell rebuild kits. That is false.
You know what? How about this, Mitch? How many serious issues have we ever seen in an X3 rack body? It had to be a complete total car wreck.
Yeah,
That's the only time we've ever seen a rack like majorly bad.
it's very rare. Yeah, the rebuild kits are cool because you can basically pull it out and do it yourself in the garage. It gives you all the parts and stuff to do that. But yeah, it's very rare to see something that's like extremely damaged to where it has to be sent in to us to get replaced.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, they're pretty indestructible. Steve,
I have two questions, Justin. One of them is, when are we getting the in-the-cab adjustable spring preload device you were developing?
good question. So we have a functioning unit on the back of a Pro R that will be released for upfit vehicles very, very soon. We have 2.5-inch diameter versions for, like, say, front shock on a X3 or anything else. Even some of the utility UTVs might use that as well. Is being machined right now, so it's about 2 months out. But when can you get the actual preload system? We're, Mitch, 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if that we're in assembly right now on the 3.0 stuff, so it's packaging all that and then.
So 3.0 meaning the rear of like a 4-seat Pro R,
Yeah.
2-seat Pro R, the rear of an X3, rear of a Mav R, anything with a 3-inch diameter shock in the back, you can run that preload system on. And until we have the 2.5s done, which would be 4 or 5 weeks or so, you wouldn't be able to do all 4 corners yet, just the back.
Yep,
Well, actually, no, it's 3-inch on a front of a Pro R.
it is. Yeah,
Yeah,
so you could technically do the whole car.
You
for
could
a
do the
Pro
whole
R.
all 4 corners on a Pro R, but every other car you got to wait another 5 weeks for us to do 2.5. Steve. Or Mitch, you guys fight it out.
I'll go real quick. Justin, we've been gone for so long. I'm so glad you're still in your 2-week answer. That's good. We have a twofer question here, Justin. One from Manny and one from Marcus Dewitt. What is Upfit UTV, and does Upfit build Can-Am?
So, thanks for asking the upfit question. We get that question quite a bit, and so maybe this is my chance to straighten everything out and everybody knows. So, Upfit UTV is a division of Shock Therapy, Fox in general, and it is basically our idea we put together last year. Upfit, let me actually describe it another way. If you go to the dealership and you're going to go buy a brand new Ford F-150, and they've got new ones there for $50,000, but sitting right next to it is a Shelby edition, supercharged, lowered with the interior and all the stuff, ready to go for $100,000. You can buy that Shelby edition straight from the dealership, brand new, warranted, everything, right? Upfit UTV is doing exactly that for the UTV industry instead of Ford. So what you'll be able to do is go to your local Polaris dealer, or soon Can-Am dealer, and you'll be able to buy a stock Pro R, or right next to it would be a Baja Limited, completely ready for off-road, as hard as you want to run it, with all the Shock Therapy stuff on the suspension, with chromoly roll cages, clean air systems, completely tricked out dash with all the GPS, radio, switch pros, front bumpers, lighting, wheels, tires, I mean, you name it, fully tricked out, ready to go. As if you wanted to go straight to Baja and pre-run, you can buy a Baja Limited from the dealership, brand new, with a warranty, everything, just like you would buying a Shelby from Ford dealership. So, Upfit UTV, accessorizer of complete packages that are tested and warranted brand new at the dealership. Hopefully that answers your question. Now, who runs it? I do. We, everybody here. We've got a new building that we're actually moving into as we speak. The new building is 120,000 square feet. Everything will be done under one roof for all of the Upfit vehicles. So cages, trunks, spare tires, all the internal stuff, the dashes, all the powder coating, all of the wraps, interior, all that stuff will be in one spot, done under one roof, so we can control the quality perfectly, and everything shipped directly from Polaris to us and us to the dealerships. So more packages coming out soon. Check the Upfit site. Lots and lots of stuff that's coming like in the next couple months. So Can-Ams. We will be doing Can-Ams at Upfit, probably 2 months or so. We'll start doing a little bit, not 2 weeks.
I'm sure you will.
I didn't say 2 weeks. I said 2 months. We actually already have our Defender packages completed for Upfit, and we already have our Maverick R package completed except for the dash, and the dash is actually tacked together, being sanded right now, powder coated, and going back in that car. So our production version for the Mav R is almost done and ready to go. Any more questions on Upfit stuff? You guys send it. I'll answer everything you got. Mitch.
A twofer, but not for Upfit, is for Glamis. One is, are spots still available for Glamis? And the other one is, I have a 2019 Can-Am with iBox springs. What would be the cost for revalving without springs out in Glamis? The spot availability, yes, we still do have spots, and I believe, Steve, we are currently scheduling for Glamis right now. Is that correct?
We are currently booking.
Okay, cool. So yes, call us, get on the schedule.
How do they do that? Call
What's the phone number, Mitch?
It is 623-217-4959. And do me a favor, ask for Steve when you call too. He'll get you all set up.
Please don't.
To answer the other question, valving on a X3 XRS, sorry, is $1150. And then $250 in labor for us to pull the shocks, do everything. If the shocks need to be rebuilt, you're looking at an additional $200 on top of that charge. And then parts and anything else that is damaged or could be damaged, that is also an additional charge as well.
Mitch, what do you get in the $1,100?
$1,100 gets you valving, gets you the upgraded bypass tube, tubes that we make, that we remachine and add different porting and locations to.
That's the trick, right? Because
That is
just
the
the
trick.
valving side is $600 or $700.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
you're gonna want the tubes.
Yeah. Everything else too, obviously nitrogen, Schrader caps, stuff like that. But at the cheap end, you're $1150 if everything's okay, and then $250 in labor for us to pull it. We can also set your ride heights and check ride heights while we are doing that at the same time.
It's important for everyone to understand that that comes with bypass tubes, because a lot of people who are doing shock work are only doing valving on that car. And if they just do valving on that car, then if we were to do the same, it would be $600 or $700. Yes, Steve.
There's been this really annoying guy on the feed. His name is Crowley.John.
No shirt for you.
Yeah, you're done. He said, what is the Furminator and what vehicles does it work on?
Ooh, good question, Mr. Annoying John, right? Furminator, take a look right here. Furminator, you might have seen a couple of videos here and there. We're starting to drop a little bit more on the marketing. Furminator is a complete ECU system that bolts into your vehicle and allows you to have a panic button or an oh shit button for full stiff when you have something major coming ahead. So here's a scenario. You're driving along, car's set up maybe on the soft side because you've got the family in the car, but you're going a little too quick around one corner and then it's washed out as soon as you come around. You aren't going to be getting out and stiffening up the suspension, are you? No. What you're going to do is leave it alone, bottom it out, maybe hurt some people, or have Furminator where you come around the corner, have a mistake, hit the button, full stiff, no more bottoming out. That simple. This is the same system that comes in a loaded Pro R with electronic shocks. You can hit a panic button in that car too. So, what's it fit? Steve, what vehicles does this fit?
Justin, I'm glad you asked that question. It fits the Turbo S Dynamics. It fits the XPT Dynamics. It fits the Honda Talon Live Valve, the KRX Live Valve, and the Smart Shock Live Valve Mav R.
Anything else, Mitch?
Nope, those are the only
Mitch
five.
had a look on his face like you
Those
missed
are the only
one.
five. Nope, those are them. That's it.
He almost missed the Mav R, but
I almost
he
missed
got
the
it at
Mav
the
R.
end.
Yeah, no, the Mav R. The one with Smart Shock and Live Valve. Not all Mav Rs. just
Right,
those.
right.
Has to be a live valve without a panic button already in it.
Correct.
Dom, you got a question?
Yes.
Aunt Torres.
Ate that one.
Can you guys get a Can-Am DS shock to perform with valve work and springs better than the new set of shocks? 100%, I would think, yes.
What's the question? I didn't really
than
understand the
the
way.
DS.
DS Maverick,
Yes.
those are they 2.0s?
So a
2.5.
non-bypass.
Non-bypass, correct?
Okay.
Will
What's
they-
the question though?
Can we valve them and spring them to make them better than factory shocks?
Oh hell yeah! Like night and day. That car wakes up. That car wakes up. That thing wakes up big time. So the factory settings on that compared to what we get that thing to do, it's really night and day. So I would absolutely spend the money. It's a great money to spend on that vehicle. Steve.
Ryan Van Valkenburg, I did not forget your question. Yours was next. He said, what's the electronic system that was on the Pre-Runner X3 you had? I believe it was eClick. What is that system compared to the Furminator?
Aha. Are you talking about our, not eClick, but,
He said eClick.
so eClick's not ours, but is that what you mean?
Well, he said, I believe the eClick was on your car. He's saying, how does that compare to?
Oh, I see. So eClick's nice because you can adjust it just like any other computer-controlled shock system, but eClick doesn't have a panic button. So you're still in the same situation you would be with any other car, any other shock setup, is you don't have the ability, other than like a Pro R, you don't have the ability to hit the button and go full stiff if you have a mistake. So it's night and day when it comes to saving the vehicle and saving your back and the passengers in the car. It also is a good tuning tool because you could run your car a little bit more on the comfortable side, not feel any of the rocks chop and chatter, maybe a little bit too much on the soft side that you normally wouldn't be running it at because it might bottom out in other scenarios. You can run that comfort and just hit the button whenever you have something big to run through. So it might be a better way to have a smoother, plusher car for the family if you're going on a long day trip. Just set it softer and use the button when you need it. It's kind of cool. Mitch.
He's talking about when we had it in the pre-runner. and
Oh, when we were testing.
When we raced, I think he said it was in it when Ernie and I raced at Parker. So I don't know if that
we
was
might
eClick
have.
or if that was just IQS.
Yeah. I think we were just testing it is all
Yeah.
we were doing, but
Yeah.
it doesn't, without a panic button, it's completely different than the Furminator. And honestly, I think I'd rather have the button, to be clear. Steve.
What rod ends do you recommend? I have an OG Maverick Turbo and need to replace them.
Well, you can answer that one. There's only one question. Only one
There's
answer.
only one answer.
Yeah.
Shock therapy rod ends, brother. Call
yeah.
in 623-217-4959. We'll get you dialed.
They are on the site, right? If you just type in rod end.
Yeah, but remember they're supposed to call and talk to me, Justin. So yeah, they're on the
Everybody.
website. Too. They're on the website as well.
How many phone calls did we get yesterday? 260?
260 something. Yes.
In one day.
Yeah.
You think you can answer?
And that's only
You think you
and
can
right
keep up?
now I will tell you that is only 2 people on the phones right now. We are in the middle of hiring, so if you guys would like to apply, please do. But we are looking for sales right now.
250 calls a day, Steve. I don't know if you can keep up, man.
I can't, but
You will try.
I'll try my best.
It'll be the shortest conversations with every customer ever.
Hello?
What's your name?
Okay, bye.
Call you back. Mitch, what do you got?
Dave Junkin says, I have a KRX 1000 spring kit. Heard you may have changed out the crossover measurements recently. Is that true? I have been fighting crazy rebound on the rear shocks and I just can't get it figured out. I don't know what your crossover setting is currently, but if you would like to, shoot me an email, mitch@shocktherapy.com. You can send me all that stuff. I can help you walk it through. We can get it figured out for you. Probably easier than doing it right here, right now.
Yeah.
Spend some time on it. We can get it squared away
I'll
for you.
give you a
hopefully get
cheat
it
though.
fixed.
At ride height, if you don't have 2 inches of space between the divider and the bottom
Yeah,
of the
very true.
crossover, then
Very
it's
true.
definitely not right.
Yeah.
So, but email Mitch. He'll walk you through those measurements.
We'll get you set up.
Another thing too, if you've got rebounding issues, like say it goes into something and bucks back out, that's also can be a sign of shocks being a little bit worn out. If you need some rebuilds, then usually they'll rebound really quick, too quick. So, Mitch.
Garkin Jacob said, you guys installed the Furminator on my Talon and it is awesome.
There you go. See how nice and easy that it works so good.
It works amazing.
Hey, did you guys just change the price?
Justin, we did.
What? Let's hear about this. Steve.
So the new price on the website right now. Why did I say it like that? I felt weird. The new price on the website right now is $699.95.
Excellent. Even cheaper than it was. Mitch.
Is the button momentary or how long does it stay in firm for?
Good question.
Yes, great question.
Mitch.
The button is momentary and it is a 5-second timer. However, you can hold the button for as long as you want and keep it in full firm for however long you want. But yes, pressing it stays on for 5 seconds. It'll go off, goes back into the current setting that you were in. Push it, goes to full firm for that 5 seconds, or if you hold on to it for as long as you want.
So I'm going to qualify the hold on to it as long as you want, because we've actually never held on to it for more than like 30, 40 seconds, right? You have, Dom?
Yeah, we did it around the loop like 3 laps. 2 or 3
Oh,
laps.
the whole time?
Oh, yeah.
So you've done it
Oh, yeah.
for 10 minutes?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Also, the Baja 500 pre-run, the big whoops.
But you're like, yeah, but you're on and off of it every once in a while. I guess what my point is we've never put a switch on it and just went it's on permanently and found out how long it goes. We have had a customer do that, and it didn't work out, but we don't know if it's 10 minutes or 20 minutes or 2 hours where the time limit is. We just don't know. But, Steve.
Justin, why don't you race anymore?
Good question, Steve. I don't race anymore because I've been too busy, honestly. Just way too much going on between upfit and everything else. But I will tell you this, I have taken the time and working with the guys over at Geyser Performance, we have built a brand new race car. So the X3 stuff, we have switched from X3 or Mav R, and now we're racing Pro R with Polaris. And the brand new car, we are leaving Saturday, which is in 2 days, to go down and pre-run the 400 for a full week and race the 400. So we'll be right back racing next weekend. A week from this weekend. Steve, Mitch.
What are you racing now, Justin?
I'm racing a Polaris Pro R.
Oh, do tell, Justin.
What do you mean, do tell? What?
Why did you switch from Can-Am to Polaris?
Well, I mean, nothing against Can-Am at all. We had a great run, but the upfit side of the business is working very much hand in hand with Polaris. And it seemed like a natural fit that we started to race Polarises as we started to do upfitted Polarises too. And to be honest, we've had some really, really good partnerships with the guys at Polaris and their engineering staff. And we've worked together and come up with some really cool stuff. You guys will be seeing a lot of things coming out in the future because of that partnership. So we're always going to test what we build. We're going to race what we build. And so it seemed like a good fit. Steve, again.
From Mark Queen, he said,
Oh, hello,
why
Mark.
has my wife made me stop using the Furminator? Oh.
That sounds more
I
like
like it.
That's a personal problem.
That sounds good.
Excellent. He can get a shirt.
Oh, Mark Queen definitely getting a shirt.
Excellent question. Mitch.
Oh, I just lost. Scott Baker wants to know, where were you filming the commercials with Brandon Sims for Upfit UTV? And also, those Upfit UTVs are awesome.
Thank you very much. I'm glad you guys like them. We actually filmed with Brandon in the new building. We filmed with Brandon in the Cinders. We also filmed with him one other place too. Where was that? I forget. Was it Parker? Yeah, we have some video in Parker and mostly in the Cinders. So if you're looking at the latest videos, I think that's all Cinders, so Flagstaff, basically. Mitch.
Will the new race car be branded as Upfit or Shock Therapy?
The new race car is branded Upfit. It does have Shock Therapy Shocky on it. It's got a Fox Factory on it. It's got a Geyser on it. It's got a Polaris on it. All smaller stuff, but right on the big side and on the roof is Upfit. It is black and silver. You will not miss the car in any of the videos from the 400. And we, after racing the 400, we'll come back, I promise, and we will do another live feed, and we will give you the race report and talk about anything else you want to talk about after that. So give us 2 more weeks. Mitch.
Perfect. Steve-O said, I got an OG Mavic Turbo with your gold package. What's the price for a rebuild on the shocks and any new updates to the internals?
Ooh, solid question because
Steve,
we
I
do
need
that
your
a
help
lot.
with the rebuild pricing.
It is $175 per shock, and then depending on how long you got it, there could be a small update. I don't know how big the update is, but there's typically an update after a couple years.
On the OG?
On the OG,
I
I'm pretty sure we have.
We've
an
had
update.
2 or 3 over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So there's probably some good
So
stuff.
there's definitely going to be an upgrade there. Update there.
Mitch, question.
Will you be selling parts from Upfit UTV, or do they only come on the cars?
That is actually a really good question. So the answer is no. We are not going to be selling the upfitted components directly. The point is that they come on the vehicle as a package that's designed to work together as a harmonious unit. But since we now have Geyser Performance under our umbrella as the manufacturing arm for all of Upfit, if you like the cage, you can buy a Geyser cage. It will be branded Geyser. It will be the same cage as on an Upfit, all except it will be completely TIG welded, 3-pass TIGs, really nice, high quality stuff. If we are not selling the dash, you cannot buy the dash. You can get the trunk assembly, you can get the spare tire assembly, you can get all of the shock therapy parts that are underneath it from Shock Therapy. And you can also get the front bumper and back bumper, but it'll be branded Geyser. So hit them up if you like all that stuff. Any of the Upfit stuff, all gonna be as a package, not individual. Steve.
When shocks are sent into you for rebuilds, do you use your own racing high quality fluid or the OEM fluid?
David, I think you can answer that.
I sure can. We use what you call the high quality fluid. So we have a special synthetic blend.
I thought you were going to go full water boy.
I was going to,
High
but
quality
I
H2O.
lost my thought, to be honest with you.
Do
High
it.
quality, high quality H2O.
Yes.
We use high quality water in your shocks. But yeah, we have a full synthetic blend that is specially made for us that Justin does race with.
Yeah. Actually, I want to
Well,
talk
actually,
a
you
little.
don't race, but you know.
Since I don't race.
Yeah, since you don't race.
I wouldn't know. But I will tell you a little bit more about oil, okay? We actually went through multiple years of testing with the oil that we currently use. It's a blend just for us, as Steve has said. And it's the same oil that we race, same oil that's in all the race teams that we work with is what is going to be in your shock. Now, except for one instance, if you bring us brand new shocks that have not had any mileage on them, we're not going to rebuild those and change the oil, unless you ask, because they're brand new. But you bring something in that's got some smoked oil, we're going to be changing it. Mitch.
Cody wants to know what's the life expectancy on y'all's Heims for racing. I have ST radius rods and tie rods on my X3. No slop yet, but want to be reasonably preventive.
That's a really that is a relative question. If I say that right. It is related to a lot of things, like the terrain you're in, the wheel and tire package you have, how the suspension is set up, the sidewall of the tire, because how rough everything is going to translate straight through the rod end and wear them out quicker. If you're easier on your car or the terrain's a little bit smoother, the rod ends are going to last a lot longer. I'll tell you this though, our rod ends last longer than any of the Aurora or FK off the shelf rod ends that most teams use. And the reason we know that is because we've checked it. Brandon Sims only runs our stuff. He's run our stuff in the Baja 1000 or our stuff in the Mint and run somebody else's and seen double the lifespan. So we're very, very particular about the rod ends that we have that are made for us, how they're set up, the clearances that are in it, them, how tight they are to begin with is also something that helps them last a lot longer. So we're proud of them. They last longer than most anybody else. I don't know that I could tell you though how long your radius rod ends are going to last. Maybe the lower outer hub rod end would be the first one, or the lower inner frame rod end would be the first one to show some excessive wear, but I can't tell you how many miles. We could run our race car with our rod ends all year. That's 3,500 race miles. But they'd be definitely sloppy at the end, and we prep our car a little bit better than that. So depends. It depends. Steering and radius rods, we probably change rod ends every 2, 3, 4 races, 3 races, something like that. And then all the other stuff we leave all year.
It's a very open question.
It is. It's tough. So I'll shut up. Dom.
We got one more upfit question from Chris Leeming. Can he bring us his car for us to upfit?
No, Chris, you cannot do that. Upfit has contracts in place with Polaris and with the dealerships that we distribute through. So we cannot sell direct to the customer. We can take your order as a customer. You can tell us what you want, and you go to the dealership and finalize the sale and pick it up there. But everything is going to go through the dealership with Upfit. We can call you after this and talk about it though, and explain it a little bit more. Steve, first.
Thank you, Justin. Is there any other new products that we have coming out?
There might be some on the table. Mitch, did you have something before I talk about that?
It was another race question.
Sure, do that real quick.
Said, Justin, did the 2018 Baja 1000 accident change your perspective in racing and things that you would change to prevent an accident like that happening again?
I assume it would be the head-on.
Head-on or the cow? Yeah, no, that was in Parker.
That'd have been the head-on.
So, yeah, probably head-on.
Yeah, Baja would have been the head-on. Yeah. It didn't change my perspective at all about racing. Changed my perspective about Score, because I didn't think that Score dealt with it very well. I probably shouldn't talk too much smack about them right now because I'm going to a race where they might not want me there. But I didn't think it was handled very well, and because of that, we have put some things in place in our team to try and watch ahead. Namely, the helicopter's there almost all the time. And really the only reason the helicopter is there is for safety, it's for medical evac, and it's so that Dom, helicopters and race cars, there's a lot of rules saying you cannot communicate very much at all. except when it comes to safety. So if Dom's in the air and he sees someone coming the other way, he can tell me, car coming the other way in a mile, and we will not hit them. If we had that in 2018, we wouldn't have hit that guy. Or he wouldn't have hit us. Depends on your view of the accident. But no, we still race. It hasn't changed nothing. I'm not going to not race because we ran into something. No big deal. It's happened twice now. Like one person, one cow. I'm still here.
Good to go.
Back to your question. It was new parts.
Yes,
Right?
Justin.
What other new parts? All right, so take a look at the bench. I didn't really get through all the way on our steering stuff, but here you go. Complete internal upgrade to a Maverick R rack with traction tooth technology, which is what we're calling these teeth on the system that keep everything in line and keep everything from not breaking. Also, we've got a nice locking mechanism on the outside so the hardware can't come loose. And we've got tie rods extending all the way out. I don't have them on the bench right now, but tie rods come with the kit. These are 3/4 inch rod ends, massive for tie rods, biggest of pretty much anything except for the outers that are on a Pro R. But that's it for Maverick R upgrade. Take a look on the left though. These guys are kind of hiding. Oh, I'll get to those here in a second.
Yeah, Justin, there's one more thing for the Mav R. I believe it's we call my wife's purse. It's the nut capture kit.
Nut capture. Say that again.
It's what my wife calls
Slow down
her.
a little bit. I don't want anybody to miss this.
Okay. It is what my wife calls her purse, and it is called the nut capture kit.
Ah, very
Yes.
nice. I like that. So, nut capture kit for Maverick R. What this does is it backs up behind the radius rod hardware. This is what's on their factory. So behind the rear radius rod plate, hardware going through the radius rods. Behind that are these nut capture pieces that are factory. These have been removed. They're just riveted to the chassis. What happens is when you take the hardware out, usually the thread lock that's on this causes it to snap the nut right out of it or folds it up to where you can't use the thing again. It's a pain in the ass. So if you're ever going to be changing the rear radius rods or rod ends or anything in the back, then this is a must. This nut capture kit goes in the place of the factory ones, bolts on, and locates all the hardware we supply in here so that you don't have to have anything on the back side holding that hardware, and it won't twist up on you like the factory stuff does. Did I kind of describe that the right way?
It's perfect,
Mitch?
yeah.
I think I got
It's perfect. It's
These are just a giant pain in the butt. We do it all day long doing radius rods, and these suck.
Yeah.
So if you want to get rid of that pain, go right there.
It makes it serviceable, and it's $125. It's
Super cheap.
yeah, easy.
What else can you get on one of these cars for $100? Not very much. Nothing.
Nah,
Mitch won't even ride in the car
nope.
for $100. Let's see, what else you got before we go to the other side of the table?
I got a good question. How's it going with the new NC shop? Can you threaten to send your Phoenix employees there as punishment? The NC shop's actually doing really good. We just recently, in the last couple months, have a dealer guy that is full-time out there now, going around and going to all the dealers, scheduling appointments, getting us booked up for the upcoming 2 to 3 weeks. So right now we're currently doing anywhere from 4 to 6 appointments a day out there.
They're rocking it. It's a
Versus
very
what it was.
small crew, and they're kicking butt.
Yeah. So as far as sending people out there for punishment, no, not really.
No, I think they probably go out there and stay. It's really beautiful out there.
Yeah. But no, it's going really good. Steve, what's his name?
Jeremy Rubel.
Jeremy's been doing awesome. He's helping us out huge, and then Austin's also killing it out there too. He's learning a lot and taking it over, and we're rocking, man. So it's going good.
Right on, Dom. What do you got?
Mr. Bobby Jones just had his shocks done on his X3 and absolutely loves them. He's thinking of upgrading his arms, trailing arms, and radio rods. Wondering what kind of changes, if any, would be needed
On an X3.
on an X3.
Radio rods might be something we should.
Radio rods is definitely something we should protect. That'd be badass. It depends on the arm package that you buy. Most arm kits, you're not going to have any change you have to do on the shock side of things. But I think like a Super ATV might relocate the shock mount a little bit. Who else does? We've had some issues with when they move the shock mount. Not very many on X3s. It was other vehicles mostly. So I don't. If you go with a reputable long travel or arm company, so Geyser, Lone Star, I mean HCR. I don't think HCR is moving everything on that, are they? I don't think they are, then you're not going to have any issues. Don't change anything on the shock side of it. What do you got there, Dom? Or Steve?
Okay, Justin, what's been the most satisfying person you fired, and why was it Chase?
I miss that.
Give that man a T-shirt.
I think he's definitely getting one.
Maybe 2. You can give him a Chase tank top.
Hashtag no Chase.
That's funny. All right, so back to parts, I guess. Since Mitch has got something.
There's 2 more questions.
Yeah, do it. This is a question show, man. Let's answer.
Ryan Van Valkenburg asked, will Mitch and Ernie be racing their X3 anymore, or will they be switching to a Polaris?
I think Mitch, you retired.
Neither. We are retired.
Yeah.
We did 1 full season. We finished every race. We did what we wanted to do, and I just don't really want to do it, to be honest with you. So we had a ton of fun doing it, though. It was a cool experience, but moving
a lot of
forward,
time.
we will not be doing it. Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
I think
yeah,
you guys loved it. I mean, the right seat's tough, right?
Yeah.
It's the navigating's hard.
Yeah.
But it's even harder taking 3, 4, 5 days off. Every 2 or 3 weekends.
Yeah. Just doing the whole thing. It was a cool experience for sure, but I'm good. I'm
Awesome.
good.
Dom, you got one?
Al Stefani, Big Al.
Hey, Al,
Al.
how's it going,
wants,
Al?
he wants to know when we're going to make a 4X shirt.
Oh, okay.
When's he gonna lose some weight so we can get a 3X?
You heard him, Al.
Al. For that question, we'll get you a shirt. Don't worry about it.
We'll get him a 5X so we can grow into it.
Steve, what do you got?
Justin mentioned 3 new companies, obviously Upfit UTV, but what other companies can I give my money to?
I can't tell you yet. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but those are secrets, and they'll come out soon. You'll find out eventually. But
like
thanks for the question, though.
Yes.
No, that's it.
That was the question.
The look on his face looked like he was taking a dump.
I might
Pinching
just be
one
that
off.
Chipotle's catching up.
Okay, parts. You guys have heard it here first. Right there. Take a look at those shock bodies. Can anybody tell me what they see on those shock bodies that's different or cool, different than normal stuff? And I'm not talking about you, Steve.
No,
Don't
I
you
see
tell me.
threads.
You see threads.
Oh,
there
something
is
different.
threads. Anybody want to take a guess on the live?
It just panned over to it. We're a little
It's
bit
just
behind.
now getting onto it. Okay.
Bueller.
Bueller. I'm going to give you. I'm giving you 10 seconds. I'm not really counting, but
Justin, Brad McDeasy said, "What's up, everybody? Miss my boys." What's up, Brad?
oh, what's up, Brad?
What's up,
How's it
Brad?
going, man? All right, never mind. I'm not going to let everybody wait.
Body
there's
sliders,
questions.
shock savers,
What?
coating, and sleeves.
What?
4
Look
of
at
them.
that. Give that man a shirt, whoever that was.
Well, John's one of them. He doesn't.
He doesn't get it. All right, here we go. Take a look at this. This is a Walker Evans shock body. This is a Walker Evans shock body with stainless steel wear sleeve, body sleeve. This sleeve and divider is a match set, so you have no shock body wear anymore. This whole system is attached with a 2-piece bolt-on crossover, so you do not have to take the whole shock apart to unthread the top. If this is not an unthreadable system, but normally like on a Fox, you would have to take the thing apart to do it. This actually bolts on as a kit. When is this available? 2 weeks.
Yeah.
No, not
Justin,
2 weeks.
What I was going to ask was, can you slide the divider up and down the the body again slowly like you did?
Would you like?
I
would you-
would like that, guys.
Here
Pay
you go,
attention.
Steve. No. It's actually Steve's face
contact.
that we should be looking at. What? There you go. Oh, yeah, very happy. So, these are going to be available in about 10 weeks. The reason for the 10-week time period is because we're launching these with every shock body available all at the same time. Every shock body size, and that means like 2.5s, 255s, 3-inch, 305s. Every little small increment requires a different part number, and we will have all of them at the same time. They're really just badass. We've been testing these for quite some time. We've been working on them for about 2 years. One of the reasons why we didn't come out with these anytime quicker is because we were waiting for all the patent stuff to come through. So all the patent stuff is now through. We have it, and we're going to launch these things as soon as we have all the parts. So keep your ears open for more information. As we get closer, we will launch everything that you're going to need to know. Steve. that look on your face.
I'm just. Ryan Van Volkenberg said, "I hope HR isn't watching." Well, Ryan, I hope they are.
I got one of those too.
I hope they are.
Mitch, you got anything?
Yeah, Justin, are you able to fly the Robinson, or is Dom the only pilot?
I definitely fly the Robbie, and I fly the MDs. There's nothing that we have that I don't fly, and I pretty much fly every single day. Thanks to all of Dom's teaching. Dom is a badass instructor. Turn around, please. Dom, take a bow. Not only is he the baddest pilot in existence, but I learned everything I know from Dom. Thank you.
Very well.
J Hupp wants to know, can I get shock body when I get shocks rebuilt on the Turbo S?
We're not going to have it that fast.
Yeah. Well, depending on when he's 10 weeks from now, maybe.
Well, yeah, I assumed he was coming right away, so no.
Yeah.
Not that fast, but if we have it, yes, you will be able to do that. Also, you can upgrade those on existing packages that we've already done with our existing springs that you've already got. All you have to do is get the slider with a divider with the body sleeve, and it works. So you can put them on stuff you already have. It's pretty easy. I think right now there's a few shock shops that are probably going, oh shit.
F around and find out.
There you go. Oh, by the way, we're the only one you're ever going to get it from because we have Pat on it. So there's that. Yes, I am proud of myself. Yes, Steve.
Justin, what are a couple things we're going to be showing up at here in the next couple weeks?
Oh, excellent question. How about you tell us which shows we're going to be at?
Oh, I would love to, Justin. We are going to be at the SSSS. That's the Sand Sport Super Show. That is in Costa Mesa. We will be there September 19th, 20th, and 21st.
I don't know the dates. Do you guys know? We'll look it up for you.
Yeah, well, the weekend of the Sand Sport Super Show, we're going to be there. And we're also going to be in Glamis. Mitch said earlier we are booking for Glamis, so we'll be...
Get your appointments in
Get your
quick. That
appointments
books
in.
up usually really
yes,
fast.
it does.
Where are we at right now, Steve?
On bookings?
No. Events.
Oh, we're
Oh, events?
Yeah.
Oh, we are in Oregon and Winchester Bay
Yep.
at the sand dunes in Oregon.
The semi's out there. We've got a couple cars on display. We've got an upfit car out there too. So if you would like to get a vehicle completely dialed in with all of our stuff, completely packaged perfect with all the cage and bumpers and lights and dash, all the electronics, you can buy one over there. Not necessarily at our booth, but you can go and check it out and go straight to one of the local dealerships that have our upfit cars. You can grab it there too. Mitch.
2 questions. Are you guys going to make high clearance radius rods for the Honda Talon? And are we going to be making high clearance radius rods for the Maverick R?
Well, you can answer that.
Yes.
So that's also new product alert, I think.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes. Maverick R is happening. We have a lot of 3D printed parts that are ready to be cycled before it goes to the final process of that red one. Oh, no, not that one. That's it.
Not this one.
No,
Never mind.
no.
Not that one.
I don't have it here, but we are putting it on the car, finish cycling it, make sure everything's good. Then it goes to the next stage, which is actually making a full prototype. So soon. It is being cycled. It is being developed. As far as the Honda Talon, probably not right away. If we want to make some more stuff for the Honda Talon, then maybe that we could put that on the list. But currently we have so many other things that we're trying to finish up. Those are going to be first, and then if we can get to it, we will.
There you go. Steve.
I have one question for Mitch. Mitch, that mythical car that everyone talks about, the Speed UTV, do we have anything for it?
Actually, Steve, that was a great question. We do. We have full-blown spring kits that we did. Did we promote them today, Steve?
Nick, did we promote it today? No, we're getting them on the website. We were having some difficulties getting them on the website. So by end of day today, we should have them on the website, but ready for purchase, spring kits for the Speed UTV. Thanks, Robbie.
Awesome. Very, very good.
Yep.
Well, if you guys have it the next 2 or 3 minutes, throw some more questions, and otherwise we're going to cut out of here and actually get some work done. Mitch, what do you got?
Does Tony still work at the race shop? He is a wizard at wiring.
Tony does not work at the race shop anymore. He's doing his own thing. He's actually doing really well at it. So if you like any wiring work, hit up Tony. It's Gecko Wiring. But Tony's in and out. He was actually here today. So he comes in, does some work here and there, kind of flies through, and does some magical stuff, comes back a couple days later. Mitch.
How did Shock Therapy get its logo?
That's probably a pretty good question. I don't think we've really ever covered. That was a drunk lunch and a sketch on a drink napkin that I sketched up and then spent a little bit more time on it. And we actually had Ernie's brother, Byron, turn it into the caricature that it is from the sketch. So it was all in the family. And the drinking has never stopped since. Mitch.
Are you guys taking products for a 2018 Razor XP4 1000 to Sand Sport Super Show? Yes. We will have sprint kits, sway bar links, basically everything that we offer for that vehicle in the semi.
Perfect.
So stop by, check it out.
Steve, you got one more question? We got to wrap this up. One or two.
Y'all hiring? Yes.
Yeah. We are hiring everywhere.
Email us, sales@shocktherapy.com.
Yes, that is Shock Therapy we're hiring, and Upfit. We are hiring piles of installers. We need lots of you. Anybody that's good at putting parts on cars, we need you. So give us a call. What do you got, Dom? And?
We need some people that can do some wiring as well for Upfit, if anyone has any interest.
Yeah, I mean, literally right now, I think we have 30 positions that are open around both companies right now. So, well, 3 companies. We need fabricators as well. 1 more minute. 1 more question. Mitch, you're the last question.
Any plans to make a rear shock upper mount brace for the Mav R?
No.
Nope.
No, nothing at the moment. Sorry, guys. If somebody's making one, like, I think Weller made a couple for the earlier X3s and stuff, maybe they're going to make one. Hopefully they do. All right. It's been fun. It's been real.
It's been real fun.
Real fun, too. So, you guys, thanks a lot for bugging us for the last couple months about doing a feed. We actually did and should have been doing these. Just been busy. So we're going to get back to it. We may not do 2 a week, but we probably will do 1 every 2 weeks. So pack up those questions, bring them in to us. We'll have more products to talk about. We'll go to different spots in the shop. Maybe we'll even go over to Upfit when we get settled in the new building and show you what's going on over there. But thanks for tuning in. We'll tell you when the next one's coming, and hopefully we see you then. Have a good day.